very, very warm welcome from Keith here, and a very warm welcome to my dear friend Mark Llangollen pipe smoker, who is still with me. So tonight, our dear friends, we're going to do a comparison review between Marlin Flake, the new version, and Marlin Flake, the old version, which I did send Mark a sample of sometime towards the end of last year. So we're smoking the new one first, and then we'll come back and do the old one later. Housekeeping. Mark, would you like to tell them what you...
Block Meerschaum Tanganyika.
Nice pipe there, I like the shape of that, very nice. And I'm smoking my Peterson Deluxe Bend 20S. And we've already had the bowl right for about 10 minutes now, and we just get the charring light out of the way and get the bowl halfway down just so we get in some sort of sense. And it's an interesting smoke. It's certainly my memory of Marlin Flake of many years ago is that this is not the same Marlin Flake that I thought I remembered. Maybe my taste has changed, I'm sure it's not.
And to be honest, it's not the same Marlin Flake I had 12 months ago.
No.
It's not.
And I'm sure my Marlin Flake from 20 years ago would have been just a pure Virginia. There are books that I've been referring to, and they said it was just Virginian blends in those 20 years ago. But the new version apparently has got Cavendish, some say it's black, there certainly is a Cavendish in there, and it's got a hint of Perique.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what Mark feels about this, but this is a much milder smoke than my memory.
It's very mild.
Between mild and medium at the most. It certainly doesn't go up to the medium level. And as far as the Perique, there isn't a great deal of hint of Perique.
Yeah.
From the tin, the smell was interesting, wasn't it? It was,
yeah, I can smell the Virginians. I can smell...
It's like a leathery and a dried raisins rather than the deep, rich fruits. It's a more softer fruit smell, the raisins and sultanas, which don't quite have the same degree of strength.
To me, it's very weak, you know.
I find between medium and mild.
Because the one I had 12 months ago, it had a sufficient nicotine. Not powerful kick, but you could tell this has got no nicotine.
No, this is much more
very minimal
than I remember it. There is sweetness though. There's also sort of a dry, grassy, hay type feeling to it. And whilst it hasn't got the strength that I seem to remember, it's not unpleasant, but it's not one which I seem to remember the version that I smoked 2 or 3 years ago was the last time I tried mine.
More sweeter.
The room aroma's not bad, it's quite pleasant. I think I had to rate this out of 10, I'd give it 5.5, maybe 6 out of 10. It's not going to be one that, surprisingly, I thought I would come back to more often, but yes, maybe now and then, but it's not going to be high on my list, let's say.
No. Bit disappointing to me.
Well, what we'll do, we'll close this bit now, and we'll come back with the 20-year-old version to see how that compares. And so if you join us in a few minutes, we'll see you then. And hello again, and I've still got my dear friend and brother Mark with me to do the second half of the review. Now, as we said in the first half, we're doing a comparison between the new version of Marlin Flake and the old version. And the one thing I should have mentioned, and I forgot to, was that the new version is made by the German company Kohlhaaser Koppen Company, whereas the old version, the 20-year-old version, is by Charles Rattray, and that's Scottish. So they blended their own blends in Scotland. So who knows what changes in company have made and also in the changes in blend. Because there is a distinct difference, isn't there, Mark? We've been comparing the colours of the new tobacco with the old. And Mark's going to kindly show you what the new one looks like. Would you like to tell them, Mark, what colours it is? It's a lighter brown,
Yeah.
much lighter brown.
Brown.
There are bits of black in there, which might be the hint of Perique that's supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
But it's basically what I call a dark golden brown. So smell-wise, it's quite fresh. Whereas the old version, which we're now smoking, is distinctly black. You can't see any flecks of brown in that at all. That is almost like black Cavendish to look at, but it is supposed to be a Virginia with Perique and a bit of Cavendish in it.
Yeah.
But that's black. Now that could also be a factor that it's just 20-year-old and it has aged and the colours have become darker.
And there's a lot more character to it.
Yes, it's a much more distinct. It's a deeper, fruitier smell to it. The other one smells a bit more leathery and lighter fruity, but this one's much darker. And as with the first one, housekeeping. This time,
Smoking the Peterson Golden Princess.
Golden Princess, which was my little present to Mark in March, and I'm smoking again, but in a different pipe, same model, in my Peterson 20S System Deluxe. The first thing I had to say was, even on the charring night, even before we started to get down to the bowl, this one is a totally different taste.
Yeah, more creamier.
More creamy, it's got more bite to it, more potency, there's more strength, there's a lot more nicotine.
Yeah, there is.
And what taste would you say?
Well, I was getting apricots and dark roasted coffee.
Yes, and I was getting those, but I was also getting things like lighter sultanas, the lighter fruits, not the heavier fruits, much more freshness to it. Also, you get the fresh grass and fresh hay, a little hint of that. And there's just a slight spike. I don't think there's a lot of Perique in this one. There's a hint of Perique, and it's there, but it's not imparting a great amount of body to
There's
it.
a slight meatiness to it.
Yeah. But this is a far nicer smoke. This one, far more enjoyable. And again, whether we're comparing apples with pears, because there might be different blends.
Like this could have been a lot different 20 years ago, as it is now.
Yeah. But with any review, you can only compare what's available now with what I had available 20 years ago. And of course, the other thing is personal tastes. What some people think is tasty in one area, others think, oh, I got different tastes today. So these are what our views on this one.
Yeah, just love it.
The room note is also different. It's more it's as you said, creamier, but it's got a more smooth. It's pleasant. It's very, very nice on the nose. And numbers wise, out of 10,
I give it 8 to 8.5.
Yeah, easily that. This is far nicer than the other one. Is there anything else you want to add, Mark?
No, I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind.
No, it's been an honour and pleasure to be able to do this comparison. Thank you for sharing and doing it with me.
It's a pleasure.
And this will be as part of another presentation, part 2 or part 3, we're not sure which one.
I'm not sure which one.
But it'll be interlaced with some of Mark's amazing videos that he's been taking over the last few more days, and slides as well. And there'll be a bit of humour to come as well, we think, we hope. So anyhow, friends, thank you again for sticking with us. We hope you've enjoyed our little mini review on the two versions of the same tobacco, 20 years difference in age. And we'll be doing another review hopefully in the next day or two.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you again for sticking with us, and in the meantime we'll say from both of us, it's good night from him and it's good night from him.
Me.
Anyway, God bless you all, speak to you soon.